is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, I'm still coming at you from the Bloomburrow Early Access event. Thank you again to Wizards of the Coast for inviting me once again. It's an honor. As you can see from all the golden gems over here, I have an essentially limitless account for 24 hours with which, to show you as many of the new cards and mechanics from Bloomburrow as possible. So, without further ado, let's jump into the fourth of tonight's brews, fourth or fifth. We're going to be finally, testing out mice. I was a little bit underwhelmed, but I have been tinkering with it, and now it's starting to slowly feel a little bit better. So fingers crossed, but I think it is a good deck. It's just this one needs a lot of work, like to figure out exactly what the best cards are. However, it still has been getting me some surprising victories. Essentially, the mouse tribe is the one with the most Valiant mechanic. Valiant is essentially like a heroic or something. It's like whenever it becomes target of an ability, only once each turn, something happens. In the case of the Heartfire Hero here, it gets a +1/+1, which is pretty nice. And that just keeps on going, and then eventually if it dies, it deals that much damage to each opponent, but in our case, it's just, that's for commander or whatever. Flowerfoot Swordmaster, another sweet little 1-drop for the deck, and I love the fact that this one has Offspring 3. Like, I really like the cheap Offspring cards. So this one's Valiant says that whenever this creature becomes a target of a spell, mice you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So nice little boost to your whole team. And of course, if you have multiple copies of the Swordmaster, then more buff. Pretty nice. And then last but not least, some of the cross synergy from previous sets. Cheeky House Mouse is a nice little Savannah Lion, essentially, 2/1 for 1, except it's got a nice little adventure side, which gets a creature +1/+1 until end of turn, and it can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. This has won me so many matches, I promise you. So, not only will that trigger all of our Valiant stuff, but it often is what is needed just to get us through for that final bit of damage. What else? Continuing with cards from older sets that somehow synergize quite nicely, we've got Raging Battle Mouse. The second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast, which is really, really nice, especially with such a low curve. We've only got, 20 lands in the deck, so sometimes having that cost reduction is really, really nice. And then if you get the Celebration, which is when 2 permanents enter the battlefield at that turn, then at the beginning of combat, it's essentially another thing that triggers Valiant, and you can definitely see that that's where they were going with this. What is it? Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Other ways of triggering Valiant, we've got the Manifold Mouse, one of my favorite cards from the set, and I really think that once we figured this guy out, there's going to be a very similar deck to, let's say, something like Illuminator Virtuoso. I'm thinking probably Boros or maybe an Izzet or something where you just protect the mouse and try and get multiple copies out, and then you just buff it up with, fight spells and stuff and auras and whatever. And then just, when you have multiple copies, or if you get to offspring it, then you get the best combination. Yeah, okay. Is it the best combination? I guess Death Touch and First Strike is potentially better, but Double Strike and Trample is also really, really nice. And again, that's a beginning of combat trigger, which when you target one of our things with Valiant, good things happen. Last but not least, full playset of Emberheart Challenger, of course. 2 mana, 2/2 Prowess Haste. And the Emberheart Challenger's Valiant says that whenever it becomes you get to exile the top card of your library until end of turn. You may play that card. So a little bit of card advantage as well. Nice. Wrapping up the 2-drop slot, we've just got some removal, testing out Repel Calamity. I think it's pretty nice that it's changed from the usual spell like this, where it's not just toughness, but also power. So a little bit more versatility. We may end up just going for the full playset to Get Lost or something to that effect. But for now, it's been interesting to test out. Last bit of interaction in the 1-drop slot, we got Might of the Meek. Just a nice little cantrip which will draw you a card. But, you know, we're only playing mice, so we're definitely going to get the +1/+0. Pretty cool. And of course, triggers all your Valiant stuff. On to the 3-drop slot. This is where it gets interesting. I'll leave Mabel for last. We've got the Seedglaive Mentor. Whenever it becomes target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. The vigilance, the haste, the fact that you often just go like, you know, turn 2 Manifold Mouse, turn 3 Seedglaive Mentor. Woo, it goes off. You, of course, target the Mentor with the Manifold Mouse's ability, maybe give it the double strike or the trample or whatever, but then it gets a +1/+1 counter, and it's got vigilance, so you can still hold it up for blocks the next turn. It's got amazing art. Like, probably of all of these signpost uncommons for the various archetypes, this is the one that's been really doing it for me, although the 2-mana Squirrel is also ridiculous. But that leaves us, finally, with a full playset of Mabel. I initially had 3, and I had some copies of 3 Blinds Mice, you know, that saga. I mean, it's nice for that final mode, but it is very slow. First you make a mouse, then you copy a mouse, then you copy a mouse, then you get to the vigilance mode. Sure, it helps trigger the celebration with the battle mouse and that sort of thing, but like, so does Mabel. When she enters the battlefield, she also creates Cragflame. And the nice thing about Mabel is that, yes, turn 3, she enters the battlefield, Cragflame enters, that's 2 permanent, you trigger the battle mouse. That's nice, but then it's you know, later in the game, if you top deck it on turn 5, then you can both play it and equip Cragflame. And Cragflame gives +1/+1, vigilance, trample, and haste. And then, of course, Mabel is also a anthem effect or a lord for all of our other mice. Just fantastic. It's been really, really good. And that's the deck. Playing 2 of each of the various village lands, because, I don't know, just seeing whether 2 is better than 1. I've been running 1 in most of the decks, now I'm testing out 2. Just remember, even though this looks white, and to all effects you'd be like, oh my god, yeah, I got a Plains, you can't cast your Get Lost off of a Lupinflower Village. Let that be very clear. The only white mana this thing can produce is to cast a creature spell. But both modes, you know, that this one you have to sack it, but then you get to look at the 6 cards in your library. I mean, it's almost always going to put another mouse in my hand, and then Rockface Village, +1/+0 and haste. Pretty nice. That's it. Nothing much else left to add other than let's jump into some games and see how the deck holds up on the early access ladder. Bunny's just freaking wow. I think when all is said and done, Bunnies might end up being like the best aggro deck. Although all of these decks that I've been playing, and I've already mentioned this a little earlier, I was just playing against CGB at some point last night, and of course he was playing Azorius Control, and he had 4 copies of Temporary Lockdown in his deck. Like, okay, everything that we, like, all the bunnies, essentially. All the bunnies, all the tokens the bunnies make, the bunny corn, they're all 2-drops and down. All the lizards, the majority of the lizard deck, the squirrel, like everything is, you know, all of the food tokens the squirrels make. Like, I feel like Temporary Lockdown, if it wasn't already good, you know, pre-rotation, going into this post-rotation standard where usually smaller card pool, Control still needs to figure out what it is that it needs to be doing now that it's lost Wandering Emperor and all this stuff. And so aggro decks usually rule the roost in these early days of a new format. Power Dragon, again. But... ooh. Yeesh. Sure. I guess. Alright. Hello, Mabel. How you doing? Ah. Luckily, we have a Repel Calamity. Yeah, we should be able to actually do that. It'll cost 1 colorless less. So let's go boom, boom. And do we go for the challenger or for the mouse? I think the mouse. Obviously go for the double strike. Get 1 more land, we can double spell next turn. Otherwise, I might just go... I don't know. Let's see. Ah, bugger. That sucks. Yeah, let's just trigger this freaking... Celebrate good time. Oh, that hurts. That is gonna hurt. I don't see how we're gonna get around that. Let's see where he blocks. If he blocks. I mean, he has to block. Okay, so what? Let's do it over here. Oh, that's a big boy. Oh, that's a big boy. Would it be better? Yeah. This Get Lost is pretty good. Pretty boring, not gonna lie. Oh. Sheesh. That hurts. Okay. So, can we win? No, I don't think so. Pity. That's the first time he's beat me tonight. Well done, well done. That's my first look at this guy. Pretty bonkers. I'm trying to think if there was like any other way that we could have gotten out of this. But nah. I think if we killed the Dragon Hawk with the Get Lost, he still would. Ah, yeah. Whatever. Whatever. Nice. On to the next one. Still figuring out this mouse deck. It's, I don't know. I'm honestly a little bit disappointed, but there's a lot of cards that I didn't include. We'll talk about it at the end of the video. I think that it is possible for it to be good, but I'm not sure about the interaction. Most importantly, number of lands. There's this thing. I think it's called like Rabbit Gnaw or something. Or there's like a mouse with these huge teeth. It's like a bite effect in red, which is crazy. They've all been around this time, like 1 minute 10. Okay, that's the longest one in the last sort of 2 videos. I had one earlier where we waited like 4 minutes. Which is totally understandable. I mean, it's a much smaller pool of people compared to normal, of course. And depending on time zones, probably a bunch of people are asleep. Although Power Dragon's still up. I think it's pretty late in America right now. I'm not sure which time zone in America he's in, but regardless, it's late. Alright. Just short of 2 minutes. Nice. Who do we get? Who do we get? Are we the only people playing? Okay. So, but also, this is good for his big boys. And then we can play the Flowerfoot Swordmaster and then immediately... Ah, did he change deck? Amazing top deck so that we can actually play our Mentor. Pretty cool. Now let's see if he's playing that Gruul list again. Looks like it. What lands are these? Ooh. Okay. Okay. So... Manifold Mouse is definitely the better option here, because then we can also trigger the Valiant on Seedglaive Mentor next turn. Nice. Let's play the red. Oh, you know. Nice. Nice. Next turn we can go... Ooh, Ansrag. Yowza. I know what we're gonna have to do next turn is this. I think we got him this time. Sure. This will allow us to get through next turn. Power 3 or greater. So already Sharp-Eyed Rookie can't block. You know what might also be pretty good in this deck is like a Skrelv. Because that's like targeting. It'll trigger all of your Valiant stuff and help you get through. Think away. There she blows. That's pretty bad, but I think that just does it. Like, easy peasy. Yes! Man, that is such a good little spell. Squeak by. I mean, we literally just squeaked by. The number of times that's gotten me the win. Phew! I mean, it's honestly just so good. Like the whole... Because it's these little mice... And they're small, but they have, you know, they're valiant. And so, like, they all help each other and little tiny buffs. I really, really like it. And, like, this card, I mean, it's the only one that really scales. That actually gets an actual counter on it. So, really, really phenomenal little uncommon for the deck. Alright. Nice, nice. On to the next one. Not seeing much of Mabel, which is a little unfortunate. I wanna get my Mabel on. Well, actually, I really want to get my Cragflame on. I've never like got into 5 mana and like played it for 3 and then equipped the Cragflame ever. So it's probably, I don't know, not that likely in such a low curve deck, but just the fact that it enters and makes another thing, triggers the raging battle mouse or whatever, is often enough, because that's another Valiant trigger, yada yada yada. Alright, let's go for a 1-minuter. Or sub 1-minuter would be great, honestly, but it's looking... I mean, if we queue into Power Dragon again, I'm gonna freaking lose it. Nope. Sub 2-minuter would be pretty nice. When can we open our packs again? Is it end of the month? I can't remember if it's July 30th or August 2nd or so. Anyway. So soon. So soon. Capricorn MTG. Can't say I remember seeing you. Okay. There's Mabel. Battle Mouse into Mabel. Seems legit. Battle Mouse into Mabel. Trigger Celebration. Put it on the Heartfire Hero. Trigger the Valiant. Swing for whatever. Seems okay. I'll keep it. We need to play our Cavern on Mice and jam out the hero. Black and white could just be a disaster. Yeah, of course. So in this case, interesting, huh? I don't know. These colors, I mean, it could just be temporary lockdown right now. Although, oh, okay. I really wasn't expecting blue. What is somebody doing with Esper? Okay. That's interesting. Definitely not something I was expecting. It's just totally random. Okay. So I think... not too shabby, eh, Nige? I think this could have been one, if this was equip 1. Close enough. Okay. It's an interesting choice. Sorry. One more land. Mentor into equip Cragflame to Mentor. However, I don't know. The opponent has a buttload of mana in scary colors. I'm just not entirely sure why you're playing a commander card. Okay. What is actually going on right now? Okay, that is a really nice top deck, guys. Holy cow. Okay. Please don't have a... Oh, wait, we've got the Cavern, so he can't even... immediately kill it. And that means we get to trigger 2 different Valiants if he doesn't have a go for the throat, which he probably does, but... Therefore, we shall probably just have to go And trigger +1 +0. Oh, well, double strike it is. The fact that he already has the trample. Oh my god. So nice. I don't even know if you can survive this. Yeah. I mean, you have to double block right now. Now he takes 6. I guess he's gaining a bit of life here. Okay. And swing. Ciao. It's pretty fun. I don't know if it's going to be actually properly good. Wait, don't you see the trample? What are you even trying to do here? Okay, you can gain the 3. It's still not enough. Boom. Mighty mice. Roar! Haha! Epic. Alright, we have arrived at the 35-minute mark. I could play this for another 3 hours. I probably will once I stop recording content. I'll be streaming over on X. Hopefully some of you who are watching this in the future will have stopped by for the stream in the present. But that is going to have to be it for this one. Let's jump into the deck with some final thoughts. The card that I was talking about earlier, which I think potentially could be really good. Okay. Well, first of all, there's this guy. But 4 mana, I think slightly different take on the deck. We'll try that in a future video for sure. But no, the card was, isn't it? No. Yeah, Rabbit Gnaw. There it is. Creatures you control. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn, then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. I don't know if necessarily. I mean, just because it has a mouse on the picture, that's why I'm thinking, right? It triggers all your Valiant stuff. You get a little extra oomph out of your creature, and it's a bite effect in red. So maybe that was one potential option. And then there was another one. Yeah, no. I cannot find it. No, that wasn't it. Anyway, we haven't gone through all of the possible options as far as mice by any means. So stay tuned for future iterations of the deck. But honestly, pretty happy with that performance during early access. So thank you all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be seeing you all in the next one. Probably with another fresh early access Bloomburrow brew. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab signing out. Peace, y'all.